Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me again today on this show about dreaming, the series of dreaming videos I've been doing. Today's topic, as promised, is about dreaming about your loved ones or relatives that have passed. Have you ever had a dream where someone who was close to you or family related died and they came and visited you, and you knew that it had to be more than just a dream? You know, it came to you and it felt like a dream, but it may not have been a dream. I had something like that happen to me. If you see the video about my Army experience, this is around after that time when I returned to Sacramento, California. I got my own place, my first place, all by myself, a one-bedroom apartment. So I was laying in my bed, sleeping as usual, when all of a sudden I just felt an urge. It was weird. It's like I was dreaming, but I wasn't dreaming. It's like I felt an urge to open my eyes. In one instant I thought, well, maybe I'm just opening my eyes within the dream. So anyway, I opened my eyes, and at the foot of my bed, I saw one of my three brothers who I knew had passed away years ago. And he stood there looking at me, and he was dressed in all white. He just looked at me. He tried to communicate with me telepathically. The message he was giving me is, I want to communicate with you. And then he handed me a phone receiver, like the old school push button phone receivers, to talk. And I slapped the phone away. And he looked at me and then vanished. Now, I knew it wasn't a dream because I was awake at that point. I was just like, whoa, what just happened here? Was that a ghost or was it a dream? Obviously, it was a ghost. Now, when I was talking about in my other dream show, my videos, talking about how important it is to write things down, and when you write things down, think about how the experience made you feel. Because a lot of times emotions and feelings are cues into what is really going on, within this. Whether you have a dream or a visitation by a ghost. And incidentally, a lot of people that pass away can show up in your dreams to make contact, communicate with you. Well, so let me tell you how I felt about this experience. I was very angry that this particular brother showed up. I have a total of 3 brothers. One I keep in contact with, and he's really awesome, okay? But this one brother, ever since I was 5, he molested me. He may have raped me. And at 6 years old, I was in the kitchen. I'm going to tell you a really intimate story, so get ready for it, guys. I was in the kitchen. I was cooking dinner. I usually was the one that cooked and cleaned. I was like a little maid or something as a little girl. So I was cooking. And then the brother I saw, the ghost visitation of, he comes into the kitchen, and he looks at me, and he just says, I'm sorry. And this now, and I'm thinking, yeah, well, my exact words were, yeah, whatever. And then so that was never resolved. I had nobody to talk to as far as that goes. Told my mom about it. She said, I don't have time for this. So I thought, okay, at 5 years old, I just got to deal with this all on my own because there's nobody I can talk to about that. So as you can see, I never really was a child. So anyway, how did I feel about it? Yeah, I was angry because I still didn't have all those feelings and issues resolved when I saw him. I mean, I felt like, how dare you come to me in ghost form and expect me, or spirit form, and expect me to forgive you. I just can't at this moment. I can't. It's just like it's too hard for me. You know, I felt like my childhood was literally wiped away, you know, through your abuse. So, I mean, what am I'm supposed to say? Oh, okay, that's great. Give me a big hug and all this stuff. You were abusive, so why should I forgive you right on the spot? Because you're coming to me dressed in all white, you know, glowing and shit, you know, and trying to tell me, trying to connect with me, and I still have issues with what happened ages ago. So anyway, there's so much like drama behind that and issues that I'm resolving with that incident, that experience, which everybody does. They have their own way of resolving it. So that was my experience of seeing a deceased person. It's not the only one that I've seen in dreams, you know. It's not the only one. I've seen someone I dated a long time ago show up in my dream who I just assume, I'm not going to mention names or anything because that would be disrespectful. But this person, I mean, I knew they didn't, well, I shouldn't say that. I just saw them in my dream and I thought, wow, I hope, it seems like you're doing a lot better, so that's really good. It was almost like this person reassured me by coming into the dream that, don't worry, I'm okay, everything's fine with me, I'm healed, and this person looked healed, so that's a bonus. But you know, sometimes the dream world can like throw you some curveballs, like stuff that you have going on deep inside of your mind, like people that have passed away that you never like really resolved very important issues with. That can come up because it's unresolved. You know, and I'm not immune from that experience myself. You know, I've got a myriad of issues to deal with, but the way that I deal with them is one by one, and listen to it more. The challenge is like listening to it without any emotion, you know, because we're feeling beings, you know, we feel things. It's a way of like figuring out how to process those feelings when they come up. And I'm not saying you have to deal with this or any situation all by yourself. You can reach out to friends and family, you know, reach out to whoever you can if you need somebody to talk to. I did for a point in time, I did reach out, but I mean, it's like, for me at the time, I didn't feel like anybody could really relate to what I was going through. You know, I went through counseling for a while, and then they gave me like prescription drugs, so for antidepressant medicine. And you know, that's not my route, so I'm just going the natural way on that. So that's what I think is really important. You know, these kind of dreams, when you dream about people that have passed away, it just means that a lot of the unresolved issues that were occurring when that person was alive, they didn't resolve for themselves. And so they had to find some way to come to you to see if, hey, you know, are you okay? Can we move on? Is this done or what? At the time, that wasn't done. That wasn't fully processed for me. You know, there's still aspects of it that still lingers in my mind that I'm still processing through. Because it was a very traumatic, abusive, and just painful experience. You know, I won't talk about any further, you know, details of it, you know. Maybe I'll put it in a book so it'll help somebody who's gone through something similar. It just brought up a lot of resentful feelings, anger, sadness, and, you know, this confusion. Like, I thought you were gone, so I thought, you know, be gone. Why would you come back and try to confront me and try to resolve things? It's like you're trying to save your own soul, and if you can get my forgiveness, then you can move on with wherever it is you're going to go next. So, I mean, that was that experience, and it definitely just woke my eyes up to what's going on in this world. I mean, there's more than meets the eye going on, and we just have to really take a deep breath and listen to what's going on. I mean, that's a really hard thing. And then, especially if the person that you see in the dream is someone that you just don't know how to handle. You don't know what to do or say because it's issue that happened and was never resolved. So, and then you never wanted to really resolve it with that person, maybe. I mean, that was my case. Never really wanted to resolve it with that person because at the time I felt like that person hurt me to a very severe degree. I suffered from panic attacks as a really young child. You know, I was afraid of the dark. You know, I got to where I didn't really talk that much. Everybody called me shy. And I just felt not good about myself. I just felt not so great. And I felt like, oh, this is all because of this person. Is why I don't feel that great about myself. Or really believe in myself, or just feel like I'm just, you know, not really worth being here. So, it can bring up a lot of these kind of issues for you. What I found helpful when I start to feel really emotional about a situation or experience is I like to go outside with a notebook. You know, it could be inside the dream journal, or it could be just a separate notebook just to journal about things that happen to you. And I write down how I feel about it, why I feel the way that I feel about it. I write down like details about the experience and how that made me feel, and the past event that may be still clinging on to me, and figure out ways of healing that. I'm looking into something called toning, dealing with I mean, I guess it's more, I don't know the exact definition of it, so don't quote me on this, go do your research. But from my understanding, I mean, they've been doing it way back since like the Egyptian times, where there's a vibration with music and melody and sounds. Sounds give you, you notice how some sounds make you feel just really off, excuse me, and some sounds just make you feel like really good, and your whole body feels rejuvenated. Well, that's why music is like healing in itself. And that's what